Hi everyone, welcome to Tony Fox Tarot. Thanks for joining me today. Great to have you with me. Today we are looking at whether you can trust this person. Now we're going to break the reading down by having a look at who they are as an individual. What makes them tick? Can you trust them? Also, what are the circumstances that you share together? What's your relationship to this person? How do you think and feel about them? And what's the timeline in terms of a future outcome between the both of you? So lots to get into. And before we get started, if you want to go down below and hit subscribe, tap on the bell icon while you're there. That'll give you notifications for any future readings that I post. Please like and share this video where you can. And if you're interested in the services that I offer as a psychic tarot reader, you can go to www.tonyfoxtarot.com. There's plenty of information about who it is that I am as a person and how it is that you can access my service as a psychic tarot reader. Now, before you on the screen, we've got 4 different cards to choose from. And the idea is to choose a card that resonates with you really clearly. So once you've made that choice, that will be your reading. It's perfectly fine to choose more than one card if it comes through really strongly for you. Just remember, this is a general reading, so take what resonates and leave behind anything that doesn't. Now, we've got card 1, card 2, card 3, and card 4. Taking a moment to be with the cards, drawing in a nice deep breath, and as you release the breath, listening to your intuition, your inner voice, the energy of the cards. Which of these cards comes through for you the strongest? Is it card 1, card 2, card 3, or card 4? Now down below there are 4 different timestamps representing each of these different cards. If you want to go to the one that you've chosen, I'll see you in a moment. Hi everyone, welcome to card number 1. This is your reading and we're looking at whether you can trust this person. So let's jump in and have a look and see what's going on. I'm going to start up here with the High Priestess and the 7 of Wands. I wanted to say that I felt that this didn't necessarily have to be an intimate relationship, that it could be a professional relationship or a colleague or a friend. But it also could be a relationship. So I'm going to kind of read it in that vein, but I want you to be just very open about who this could be. There's a sense of evasiveness here, that this person is not giving you clarity about where something is going. I feel like they're distracted by a lot of other things in a way that just doesn't put you squarely on the map. I don't feel like they're giving you the attention that you deserve, or that they're giving you an opportunity to connect with them in a way that clarifies where things are at this particular point in time. I kind of feel like there are just convenient distractions going on. And that this person is in some ways avoiding a conversation about making, either concrete plans or clarifying where things are at and where things are going. It's very light touch. They're kind of in and then they're out. It's hello, it's goodbye. It's just not getting down into the experience in a way that actually takes it more seriously and commits to some kind of an outcome that leaves you feeling confident, definitely. There's an elusiveness here, like a slippery nature. I feel like I'm having a lot of trouble trusting this person at this particular point in time because I don't feel like they're being clear. I don't feel like they're always telling me the truth. I feel like sometimes they're actually avoiding conversations with me. I feel like they're vague in what they're trying to say in a way that can be misinterpreted. Maybe they're saying one thing but meaning another. Maybe they're doing one thing but actually doing something else. There's a lack of communication, a lack of transparency, a lack of commitment. It's all very vague. There's a lot of maybe going on here is what I felt. I feel like by nature, this person is actually quite light touch. They're very much a today person who feels a certain way right now, but in the next hour might feel very differently and therefore thinks very differently, as a consequence. Maybe a little bit Peter Pan. There's a youthful, very refreshing, creative vitality that comes through here in a way that, it doesn't want to grow up and take things too seriously. I like that, but I have a problem with that at the same time. I come down here to Judgment and the Three of Pentacles. I felt like you were really clamping down on this person, really sort of pinning them down to figure out where things are at. I feel like you're putting a lot of pressure on them to maybe almost demand that they toughen up and get a little bit more solid in delivering on what this is all about. I feel like you're saying that you need you need an experience that actually delivers. You need for them to step it up. You need evidence. You need them to cough it up. You know. Now is the time to do that. I feel like there's a lot of gravity on this. It's like, like I feel like I'm at a crossroads. I really need you to step it up here. I'm depending on you to do this. I need to be able to trust you. I need you to show me today, not tomorrow, not yesterday. It's like right now. I need you to make this real. And maybe you've got other people breathing down your neck from that. Maybe there's pressures coming externally to you, whether that's friends, whether that's family, whether that's colleagues. I felt there was a lot of pressure on you about this position. That you were taking it seriously because of those pressures. Maybe people are telling you to get real about this, for you to step it up, for you to look at it in a way that is being maybe more honest with yourself. Yeah, so I felt there's a lot going on here in that sense, that there's a lot for you to lose if this person actually doesn't take it more seriously. I'm being a little bit open here in the way that I'm reading this because I think it's important for this particular reading. I think you're really hoping that they can. I think that you put a lot into this person. You've given them an enormous amount of support. I think you've propped them up. I think you've invested into them in a way that has allowed them to be what they need to be today, and leading up to this particular point. Coming over here to the Star and the Eight of Wands, I felt that this person, since the time that you met them, like they swept into your life. Maybe they swept you off your feet. If it wasn't romantically, maybe they swept you off your feet with perspective, with ideas, with creative energy that has kind of been really refreshing, uplifting, and full of new and different perspectives. I feel elated by this person. I feel like they've sold themselves to you, or sold some kind of direction that means that they don't actually have to invest so much into it. I feel like they've promised you an enormous amount. I felt that this person has had a lot going on for a very long time in terms of spreading themselves thin on the ground. In some ways, I felt, they're kind of saying this is the direction things are going, but at the same time, I can't quite give you everything that you need today until I get these other things sorted out. Like I've got a lot of other demands. I've got a lot of other interests that are all on the boil, and which all demand my attention, my focus, my creative energy, my input. Like in order for me to make a success out of all of these things, I need to get this done. I need to get it over the line. There is a changeability here, though, right from the beginning. I kind of feel like what this person is saying right now is not how it's necessarily going tomorrow or the day after or next month. But they've always got an excuse, or they've always got a reason, or they've always got some other thing that makes you feel maybe distracted from what it was that you were talking about in the first place. They're kind of like it's almost like they do a lot of deflecting. They skirt around the issues. They never really get to the point. They never really deliver in a way that makes you feel confident. But at the same time, they put a spin on things in a way that leaves you kind of looking over there in a different direction, in a different place. And then before you know it, they've kind of... there's a lot of razzle dazzle, if that makes sense to you. There's a lot of... They are distracted, but they can be distracting. Yeah? Again, something a little bit slippery about this person. If I come down here to the Wheel of Fortune and the King of Pentacles, I think right from the beginning, I think you've actually seen this person as being really high risk. And I think actually it's quite, this is somebody who is quite the opposite to who you would usually associate yourself with or invest yourself into. It's like you're actually a very confident, yeah, very like, I want to say holistic, but what do I mean by that? I just mean that you're very solid in your process. Like I feel like traditionally you're risk averse. Like you really like to know your stuff before you put anything on the line and to take a risk. But I felt that you saw a win, like it's like you felt like you saw a winner here, that this person could deliver, could give you what it is that you really wanted. And I felt maybe from the beginning, it's like it's almost like you took that risk and you jumped in at the deep end and you just gave to this person in a way that was above and beyond what you would normally do. I feel like you put a lot into this person in practical terms, though. I felt like for some of you, I wonder whether you'd actually given them money or supported them with some kind of material security or opportunities, or maybe you've opened doors for this person, or maybe you just invested into them personally. I feel like you've given an enormous amount to them. I think you've gone above and beyond, is what I wanted to say. And I think actually you're quite a proud person. And I think that if you got it wrong, you would hate to think that you'd got it wrong, because your pride would get in the way of that. I don't want that to sound like an affrontment, because it might do. At the same time, I think it's really important to recognize that that is the case sometimes. I think as a consequence, you've been very fixed on what you want to get out of this situation. You've remained clear about that. I think you've been honest with this person from the beginning. I think that you've told them or kind of made it clear in some kind of a way that sort of says, I'm taking a risk here. I'm depending on you. Don't let me down. I feel like you're sort of saying don't let me down. I think you've brought a lot to this situation, but at the same time, this has been high risk from the beginning, and as a consequence, you do stand to lose if it all goes wrong. Where's it all going to go? Like, can you trust this person? Over to here with the Hermit and the Knight of Swords. I felt that this person resists any temptation that you have to pin them down or to corner them into an outcome that crystallizes, something that gives you a solid outcome, a dependable outcome, like a reliable outcome, a trustworthy outcome. I feel like they are fighting against you. That they fight against moving forwards, that they fight against you making this fair. They fight against giving you what it is that you deserve, what it is that you've owed, what is it you're owed. That they will distract you with behaviors that can be really confronting and which will try to push you back down or to force you into a position where you feel that it is not to your advantage to try and further your position. I felt that this person would maintain a position where they wanted things to be uncommitted, where they wanted things to be open-ended to their advantage, that everything was all about them. It was all about this particular person. That history repeats itself. There's more vagueness. There's there is more uncertainty. There is more slipperiness. There is a complete and utter lack of delivery in terms of giving you what it is you really want or what you really deserve. And I felt that this person would really dig down into that position in a way where it really stops you from making any inroads to get what it is that you really want here. So they won't deepen into this experience in an honorable way, in a way that is giving to you, in a way that is reciprocated. It's all about them. It's like they're fighting for their position. They don't feel like they have to give anything up. Come down to here, the Justice and the Nine of Swords. I felt for you, this would kind of result in a situation where you just kind of, you feel like it's really unfair that they've taken away your power, essentially, because they're not giving you what you want, what you deserve. That there's absolutely no balance. It's completely disproportionate. That this person has left you feeling that you're at the mercy of their aims and objectives. That they've feathered their own nest, is what I want to say. It's like this person is self-serving, and they have been all along. There's a reason why you could never pin them down. There's a reason why it never actually went deeper into an experience that made you feel that it was honest and whole, and that it was actually progressing in some way that actually gave you a return. It's all about what I want. And I felt that this person would fail to give you any recognition of the impact that this actually made upon you. They failed to understand the consequences of their own actions upon you. And that this is the most important part for me, that they would actually perpetuate the problem for as long as you would continue to engage with them. I don't trust this person as far as I can throw them. This person lacks the substance and when I say that, they lack the substance to recognize what this really means to you, how important this is to you, what you've actually given to them, what you deserve back. The fairness, it's about the unfairness of this situation. The reality is today, they're avoiding you. They're not actually having a direct conversation that honestly communicates what's going on in a way that gives you confidence about the future. And the thing is that they have not been like that from the beginning. If you look to the past, it's been like that from the start. I think that you gave to this person in a way where you went above and beyond what you would normally do. I think you got in deep in a way where from the start you've had a lot to lose, and you've remained invested in a way where I think that you just kind of held your position in the hope that eventually things would go right. I don't think that you're used to people being like this. That's what I wanted to say. I think this is a difficult situation that will cause you a big letdown, because it is unfair, but also it shows you that people can be untrustworthy. It shows you that people can let you down. No matter how much you give to a situation, it doesn't always mean that it's actually going to work out for the best. For me, you need to cut your losses here. I don't feel like you're getting back what you put in. And I feel that it is pointless to give anything more to this situation, because this person will continue to take you. I feel like this person has taken you for a ride. I feel like this is a ride. It's their ride. And I feel that it's time to actually clarify that this has reached a limit for yourself, so that you don't get hurt any further and that you don't lose anything else. Look, I hope this reading has made some sense, and if it has, feel free to leave some comments down below. It'd be great to get your feedback. Like and share this video where you can. Hit subscribe. Tap on the bell icon. That'll give you notifications for any future readings that I post. And if you're interested in the services that I offer as a psychic tarot reader, you can go to www.tonyfoxtarot.com. There's plenty of information about who it is that I am, what it is that I do, and how it is you can access my service as a psychic tarot reader. Thanks very much and take care. Hi everyone, welcome to card number 2. This is your reading, and we are looking at whether you can trust this person today. So let's jump on in and have a look and see what's going on. Let's start in the past over here with Death and the Six of Cups, if it was a good place to start with this other person. I felt like there was some kind of major shake-up in their life. Could have been the loss of somebody close to them. It could have been a relationship breakup. I feel like circumstantially things had been really confronting for this person in a way that kind of lifted the lid on what's been going on. I kind of feel like they've had this really very confronting and major reality check in their life that has certainly kicked up a lot of dust and really called on them to kind of sift things through in a way that actually clarifies a truth of some sorts. Um, I don't know that this person has actually told you the full experience of what is it they've been going through. Maybe bits and pieces of that. I felt that this was very personal and it involved somebody who was very close to them. I wondered whether for some of you, if it was a relationship breakup, whether this person had left children behind or that there was some kind of dispute over kids. I kind of felt that that could actually be quite a strong feature for some people. Um, I also wondered if it was a relationship breakup, whether this person had been cheated on. I kind of felt some sort of bitterness about the situation that, it's like they had to come to terms with something that was really confronting, maybe something that they hadn't seen coming. The rose-tinted glasses needed to be taken off, and they really needed to look at this squarely in a way that went very deep and was very personal. It was an eye-opener. I feel like it was a reality check for this person. If it wasn't about a relationship breakup, I certainly I felt a loss for some people. Like some kind of somebody who was very close to them, maybe from childhood. Somebody who felt very linked in at a very deep and personal level. Either way, I just feel it's been very turbulent, and I feel that this person has been looking for solace, looking for some sort of comfort to get them through this period. That they needed a gentleness, like an emotional support, perhaps, that just got them through what has been a really difficult time. I felt a real truth or an honesty with this person. I felt that they're very tender deep down. I feel like this is a very sensitive person, a very emotionally sensitive person. I don't feel that they let on about that. I think that that's actually something that's very, again, very personal to them. I feel like they keep a lot to themselves. I don't feel like this is a person who is confidently expressive of themselves. Maybe they don't feel that they need to say a lot, or that they don't need to tell people their business. I kind of feel this is a strong person. I feel that this is a very a very tender person, but a very strong person that has an enormous amount of integrity and dignity, actually. So if this was about some kind of a relationship breakup over the other person having an affair, I felt that could have been very, that could have been, like almost ruinous for this person. Like, like it would have really taken them down in terms of them feeling that they had, like lost their dignity to a situation that had caught them by surprise. Down here with the Tower and the Page of Pentacles, I felt that you've been an incredibly supportive person to this person. A very stabilizing influence, that you provided an anchor for them, really. I think you've been a pillar of support. And I don't know that you've known this person for very long, though. Excuse me. I didn't know whether this was a long-term relationship. I kind of felt that you'd come into their world at a time of change. If you'd have known them before that, maybe just not in a way that you knew them now as a consequence of what's been happening for this person. Like, I just feel like, it's like, there's been a right time, right place situation where you've kind of entered into this person's life and offered them an incredible support, an enormous amount of grit to be able to get through this. I think you're very clear-headed. I think you're very practically minded, very level-headed. I think you like things to be no nonsense and nuts and bolts. You like to know where things are at without a great deal of complexity. You're very upfront, very honest, and I think the kind of person you are is what you see is what you get. That's very honest and it's very truthful in a different way to this person. I felt you'd certainly expressed a level of interest in this person. So this feels intimate. It feels personal. It feels like it could be a relationship potential. I think you've asked a lot of questions as to where things, and I'm talking about the past still. I feel like you've asked a lot of questions about what's going on for this person in terms of the potential of the two of you, and that perhaps you've clarified that now's not the time for this person. Wrong time, wrong place for that. Yeah, and at the same time, I think you've expressed interest and provided understanding, and that there is some kind of conclusion that there is a potential for the future here. Excuse me. Yeah, very difficult time. I would also say, I don't know that you've been having the easiest time either at the same time as when this has all come up. I think you've had some problems of your own. But not to the same degree as this other person. So where are things at right now? I think if you come up here to the Chariot and the Seven of Cups, I felt like this person was, from an emotional point of view, was like a complete mixed bag. Unable to focus, unsure about what they want, very changeable. I kind of get somebody who's changing direction, left, right, and center. It's going one way one moment, and the next moment it's going completely different direction. Hard left, hard right, full throttle forwards, or slamming on the brake and then throwing it into reverse. It's hard to keep up, I felt they had an enormous amount of emotional baggage that they were sifting through, and that it was very hard for them not to let that spill over. I feel there are times when perhaps they're overwhelming you with what they're going through. Maybe they're overwhelming other people with what they're going through. I felt the goalpost had shifted quite a lot as well with this person. Maybe what you had understood previously in terms of where things might arrive at in the future, it just kind of sort of feels like the ground is shifting quite a lot. That's not necessarily how things are set today. And I also, what I wanted to say here was that this is a strong person. I think they've got a very thick armor. They don't want to they don't want to let you really know how they're going on deep down from an emotional point of view. And so a lot of what you're getting in terms of the experience with them is spillage. Stuff that they're not able to deal with, and clearly not at terms with, spills over into conversation, maybe from a very unconscious point of view, as far as they're concerned. Conflicting signals is how I feel this is. Very confusing for you. I kind of feel like they're saying lots of different things. The ground has shifted, the goalposts have moved. Where you thought things were at before, it's not where things are at now, and it's very hard to see a clear way forward in terms of what's going on with them. I think they're very difficult to read. This person feels very difficult to read, confused at times. They seem very unsure about what it is that they want. I feel like whatever it is that happened before for this person, it's like they're still in the thick of it. They haven't shifted or moved through this experience in a way that has arrived them into a position of clarity. I don't feel they're grounded. This is not a grounded person at the moment. I think usually they would be. I think this, whatever it is that's happened for this person, I think it's been hugely disruptive for them. I think it's shaken them to the core, and they're unable to focus in a way that actually, grounds them. So very difficult. It's hard to understand what is possible with this person at this time. Down here to Judgment and the Seven of Swords. I just feel like for you right at this time, you're still there for this person. I think you're still an enormous support, but things have changed enormously for you. I feel like you're being messed about by them. That it's going around in circles, their lack of clarity, their lack of understanding as to what is they want with you, to understand what is possible for the future for themselves. It's eroded your trust. I think you're questioning their intentions. I think your instincts are kind of pricked up in a way where you're sort of feeling that perhaps they're not telling you the full picture. Is there more to it? Is it more complicated? I don't feel that this person has actually given you the full picture. I will be honest. I don't feel that they've actually told you everything. And so it makes you think, okay, I don't know what it is that you haven't told me, but I know that something doesn't add up here, and it makes me question whether I can trust you. What are your intentions here? What do you feel? It's like you're just not focused on me. You're not focused on what's going on in a way that builds on this potential. I think that there's a lot of pressure externally to you. I felt here with judgment. I kind of feel like there's other people around you. You're listening to other people and what they've got to say about this. Perhaps you've actually shared this picture, this situation with others in a way where they're kind of like sort of saying, this doesn't add up. It's not right. You need to sort this out. You need to get straight answers. I felt for some of you that was definitely the case, that there was some, it's like other people perhaps might be fueling uncertainty for you, fueling mistrust. And I felt, just in terms of this overall process, I felt like for you, it's like you're somebody who doesn't mess about, right? Like, so you'll give people a little bit of leeway, but 3 strikes and you're out. Like, it's like you're not going to mess about. You're not going to let people take you for a ride. And you're certainly not going to indulge other people in a way where you get too caught up in their drama. I think you like it to be a lot more easy to navigate than what this is usually. But I think it's already 2 strikes for this person, and they're skating on thin ice, is what I felt. I think you're avoiding putting more pressure on them because you can see that they're not in a position to be able to kind of clarify, their direction in relation to you. But at the same time, like, it's a bit of a tussle. It's like there's a tension there because you've had enough. It's like, like with judgment, it's like I need you to make a decision. Like, it's a now kind of position. There's weight, there's gravity here. I need to understand what's going on in order to move forward. And I certainly, if even if it's not moving forward, I need to understand that you're not messing me about, and I need to know the full truth. What's going to happen here? Can you trust them? Let me get to that in a second. Over here to the Emperor and the Queen of Swords. I feel next stages, really, and I feel this is just around the corner. I feel like coming weeks, coming month, like it's like you're taking control of the situation and you're cutting away. You're saying, I'm not dealing with this anymore. I've had enough. I need to set a clear boundary for myself as to what it is that I am not prepared to take on. I feel pained. I feel grieved to do this, but I have to make an executive decision that actually takes me forward in my life, because I feel like I'm getting caught up in a whirlwind, caught up in somebody else's mess that's not crystallizing, clarifying, moving forward in a way that actually co-aligns to anything that I want. I think you're going to feel hurt by this person, but you won't express that necessarily. I feel that you will have a lot of anger and frustration that will be pushed down and expressed in an almost, I don't want to say vengeful. It's like you want to get back at them in some ways, because I think you've bent over backwards to support them. And it's that feeling like I've gotten nothing out of it. It's that feeling that I've been messed about, that you're not being straight up with me in a way that honestly communicates what it is you really want. And so my only choice is to take control and to be realistic about this in a way where I don't get hurt, because I don't want to be vulnerable. And like, I've been there before, like I kind of feel like the Queen of Swords, like often with the Queen, well, always with the Queen of Swords, it reflects past experiences. I've been around people who have, the Emperor, dominated my world in a way that has caused me an enormous amount of pain. And I put up with that suffering, and it has got me absolutely nowhere. And I need to draw the line. So I'm out. It's like you're done. But the question is, can you trust them? And I do feel that you can trust this person. And I come up here to the Star and the King of Cups, and I felt that over the coming months, this person is pining for you, yearning for you. What you really got to take into consideration here is that you're very different people. You're quite cerebral. You're no nonsense nuts and bolts. This person's very emotionally sensitive. They got quite a thick skin, but they hide quite a lot. And I think that's the energy that you're picking up on is this inability to actually tell you what's really going on and how does it maybe they really feel. So that it just gives you your bearings, allows you to tap into your inner compass in a way that clarifies the future, position, potential. This person finds it difficult at the best of times to tell people how it is that they really feel, especially if they really feel very deeply about them. They have an inability to articulate certain truths because they're very sensitive as to how people might respond to that. And I feel like this person wants to portray themselves as actually being quite tough, maybe quite hard, maybe quite assertive at times, but underneath it, actually what you've got is somebody who is incredibly compassionate, incredibly caring, incredibly loving. You know, like this is a very tender individual who has an emotional maturity and an ability to really love at full capacity. You know, they're a giver. They give a lot. And I felt that this person would, over time, despite your actions, not give up on you. And that in time, they would muster the courage to articulate how it is they really felt for you. They would voice their feelings. This person has an enormously deep love for you. And what I really like about this person is that they will honor your decision no matter what decision you make. If you make a decision that you're out, they will let you have that in a way that allows you to keep your power. They're not there to take anything from you. And I felt that within time, within the next maybe 3 to 6 months, that this person will arrive at a point where they're completely focused on the truth of their love for you. And that this will be the time for the two of you to take that next step. Reflectively speaking, I think it's really important to absorb historic details because this person has gone through the ringer in terms of an experience that at the moment they have an enormously rocky position that causes a lot of mixed feelings. They can't be certain about anything. They need the dust to settle. They need to get through this experience and to heal. This person needs some time to heal. You need to give them the space to be, you need to give them the space to be themselves, to be what they need to be for themselves. And the ball will be in your court as to whether you allow this person back into your world. But if you say no and you refuse access, I think you'd be cutting your nose off to spite your face. I hope this reading has made some sense, and if it has, feel free to leave some comments down below. It'd be great to get your feedback. Like and share this video where you can. Hit subscribe, tap on the bell icon, that'll give you notifications for any future readings that I post. And if you're interested in the services that I offer as a psychic tarot reader, you can go to www.tonyfoxtarot.com. There's plenty of information about who it is that I am, what it is that I do, and how it is you can access my service as a psychic tarot reader. Thanks very much and take care. This is your reading, and we're looking at whether you can trust this person today. So let's jump in and have a look and see what's going on. I'm looking over here to Strength and the Nine of Pentacles. A good place to start with you, and I'm looking into the past. Okay, so I feel like predating now. I feel like you put a lot into this person. On lots of different levels. I think practical input has been a part of that. I kind of feel like maybe you've given them a lot. Time, maybe money, maybe resources. Certainly know-how and understanding. I think you've helped this person. You supported. I think you've carried the weight, is what I felt. You've taken the slack. Because it felt like it was the right thing to do. I felt that you've seen an enormous amount of potential in this person. You really believed in them wholeheartedly. You believed in what they can do, what they can make of themselves. But more importantly, I think you've seen the potential in this relationship, in whatever form that is. I didn't necessarily think that this had to be an intimate relationship. It could be a friendship, a work colleague, or an intimate relationship. But I felt that you had seen enormous potential for the future for the both of you in terms of how you could flourish, the return that you could get on investing into this person and their world and who it is that they are, from an emotional point of view, from an experience point of view, maybe even from a financial or material point of view. I don't think you've ever really had to think about it. Like it's come very natural to you. You put a lot into them. I kind of feel that you are that type of person who is able to foster growth. You've got a green thumb. Maybe you're good with animals. You're good with situations, bringing them to a flourishing outcome. I think you have a nice touch. And you're patient and reserved. Yeah. You give time and space to situations, to circumstances, to people, to things. And you allow process in a way where you don't try and fast track it. Enormous groundwork that's been laid here in terms of your connection to this particular person. And I think you've had an accumulation of experiences that had left you to feel that you could really trust them, that it was sound or solid, that there was proof in the pudding already, I think that you felt a lot for this particular person in a way that is very honorable. I get a sense that you have had a respect for them. You've honored them. And I think that you've looked forward to future involvement with them in a way that continues on and where things grow upwards and onwards. Yeah, quite a lot going on here. If I come up here to Judgment and the Eight of Pentacles, I think around the same time in the past, I felt this person has reflected a lot of that back. I felt there's a lot of mirroring going on here. You both, in your own different ways, perhaps agreed upon those ideas, concepts, experiences, and that you've both seen a future potential as to where things can actually go, how they can grow, how they can develop. And I do get an honesty coming through here at this particular time with them. But I think they've been very focused on other things. I think there's you and what's going on with you, and they've had to sort of put that to the side. So I kind of feel like they've sort of, almost in some ways, say, look, I've got other things on the boil at the moment, other aims, other objectives, goals that I need to really bunker down and meet. I kind of felt like they've had a timeline where they're looking to successfully complete a series of tasks or experiences or whatever it is. Yeah, I just feel that they've really had to knuckle down and do this, whatever this thing is, to get ahead in a way that gives them a practical return. Like there's something in this that actually helps them to map out the further future by completing these things. This could be work, it could be money, it could be study, it could be a lot of different things. But I think there's probably more than one. And I think, in terms of their totality, I think it's actually been really important for them to do it. But at the same time, it's like I'm super absorbed by that in a way where I don't have a lot of time to give you. So, I need to park that for the moment and get on with the tasks at hand. I think this person is very practically engaged with their abilities to just get hands-on and make it happen. I felt like a timeline was really important here. It's like they've got a timeline that they need to adhere to do these things that I've described, but there's also a timeline between the two of you. It's like I kind of feel, we're reconvening at a later time, to get on with it. And I kind of felt like that was mutually agreed in a way, what I'm trying to describe here is the fact that there is some really solid foundation between the two of you, that it has a bearing on the future, in as much as you're reconvening to dive back into the experiences that you've been having and to create new ones in a way that give you further growth. No doubt about it. Fast forward to now, and here we are with Wheel of Fortune and the Nine of Swords. And this person's position has changed completely. You've gone from this assuredness, this certainty, to complete uncertainty. I feel like this person is dealing with a lot of stuff at the moment that has distracted them, that has unsettled them. I felt that they weren't in a good place, that they were going around in circles. I feel like they're chasing their own tail, that they're actually not. Like when you contrast where they were in the past, how I've just described, to where they're at now, it's like the polar end opposite to that. I don't feel that they're able to complete anything. I don't feel like they're able to focus on anything. I don't feel like they're practically engaged in a hands-on way to find solutions to get from A to B. The timeline has just flown out of the window. I feel like this person is in a position where the change of energy between the both of you has shifted completely. It feels uncertain. It feels like a gamble. It feels really high risk. They're not instilling confidence in you, and I don't feel like they're communicating with you clearly, if at all. Yeah, I felt in many ways they couldn't face you at this time. And I think, for some of you, I think that they're just choosing not to face you, and that they won't face you. Maybe they're avoiding your calls, avoiding messages, avoiding any kind of communication, social media. I feel like they're preoccupied with a whole load of random stuff that's come up into their world and triggered off an experience that has left them spiraling. Random life issues is what comes up for me here. I felt an enormous distraction, enormous uncertainty, and I feel like the high risk signs are flying off, flying off the wall, left, right, and center for you. And it's triggering alarm bells left, right, and center within yourself. And you come down here to the Moon and the King of Swords. It's like your instincts are on high alert all of a sudden. You're telling yourself from a very deep place, it's time to bail. You need to cut your losses here. This person has really come off the rails in a way where they're actually quite unpredictable. And, you need to pull back in a way where you go into self-protection mode. I feel like you're expecting the worst at the moment. Like your instincts are really speaking very loud to you in a way that is sort of saying, this isn't good. Like this, you need to bunker down. You need to look after yourself. And also you need to prepare for the worst in a way where, what are you going to do? How are you going to handle this situation moving forward? Given the past and what you'd agreed on and where you thought it was all going, and now how this person is actually being with you, how do you want to handle this? So I kind of feel like you're contemplating strategies in terms of digesting where they're at, where things had been at the past, but also where you think they might go in the future, given this new set of experiences that you're having with them. I feel like you've been there before with people in a way where you've seen this kind of behavior, and that it just really strikes a chord within you that makes you feel vulnerable, that there's danger, that, this all sounds very ominous, but I'm talking from an instinctual point of view. It flags a very deep-seated sense of something just not being quite right, that you can't put your finger on, and you don't have a good feeling about it, whatever it's going to be. And you've had instincts about this sort of stuff before, and you've actually always been right about it. You've never been wrong. So I kind of feel that this has gotten you down in a way where you've had a lot of worry about it, that you feel like it feels very, I don't want to sound too full on, but it kind of feels like it's doomed. That's the feeling that I get within you. And that's made you feel quite depressed, And it's sort of gotten your back up in a way where you're feeling defensive. The energy is very defensive at this point in time. It's almost like you're getting ready for conflict. And the strategy is, how am I going to play this? Because I don't think you want to be a victim of this person. I don't feel like you want to be collateral damage in any way. I think you actually want to get the upper hand and take control of this in a way where you actually keep your power, keep whatever it is that you've actually invested in to them in a way that actually, and again, that could be sort of very material and practical investment, whether it's money, whether it's something that you've given them. And if it's actually about the time and the effort and the energy that you put them at a personal level, it's actually about getting an outcome that makes it clear that you're not prepared to lose your integrity to them. It's almost like you're taking a position of authority that wants them to respect you. That demands that they try harder to get over this experience in a way that lives up to what is right, to honor you. Over here to the Emperor and the Three of Pentacles, and I felt this was like an outcome in terms of where things are going for you in particular. And I felt that you wouldn't give up on this person, that you'd set out to redeem the situation in a way where you would fight to maintain what you've established or invested in with this particular individual. The thing about you that comes across really strongly here is, I think you're quite restrained, but I think you're a player. I think you're not there just to go along for the ride. If you are investing into somebody in any kind of relationship, any shape or form, then you're doing that for good reason. And so you're not there to, what am I trying to say? You're not there to let people walk over you, is what I'm trying to say. So I kind of feel that it'll get to a point where you make a clear case for the basis of what you've got going on with this particular person, and that you'll reinforce that foundation with a drive to kind of stabilize the situation, to take control, because that's very much in your nature, is to step up and to take control, to make executive decisions, to put things right. I think you like in the back of your mind, you've always got a master plan as to what is possible, where things are going. And I think you're very ambitious by nature and driven to make things succeed, no doubt about it. You're not going to take no for an answer here. You're not going to give up on this person. In fact, you're going to step up. And I think you'll actually be quite passionate about that. Very ambitious energy, not wanting to give up. And I think that you'll give it more. You'll give the situation more. You'll try and reinforce them. You'll try and reinforce the situation. I think you'll try to lead by example, because you're a strong character. And I have to say, deep down, I think that you really believe in this person. Deep down, I think you really believe in this person, that you don't want to give up. And I think at this point in time, your instincts are really picked up in a way where you're expecting the worst. But I think you'll rationalize that away. You'll get to a point where it's like, hang on a second, I want to win. I want to make this work. I can see a way forward. I have a vision. I'm not going to give up. What's the outcome for this person? The Devil and the Ten of Swords. I don't feel like you can trust this person. I think your instincts were right from the beginning. I feel like you're going to get stabbed in the back here, that there is a betrayal, a letdown, that this person will fail to live up to your expectations. I feel that this person will sacrifice you to further their personal gain. And I feel that they will be unapologetic and unreserved in their selfishness to make that completion. I feel this person's going to walk over you, is what I'm trying to say to you. I feel that this person will also make a break in a way where they leave you kind of just reeling. I kind of feel that this person is not trustworthy in the deeper sense, that their insecurities will get the better of them, okay? And these are outstanding insecurities that they're unable to overcome. It's almost like a survival instinct where they're prepared to do the worst to somebody else because at the end of the day, they feel so compelled to look after themselves, to put themselves first. Rightly or wrongly, it's just like it's something that takes over within themselves. And that they're prepared to look beyond doing the right thing. I feel like, yeah, this thing about doing a runner, I just kind of feel like all of a sudden this person is nowhere to be seen and you're left holding this experience of trying to keep it all intact, to maintain the integrity of a situation that is essentially eroded around you. Yeah? Coming back here to the Moon and the King of Swords, I feel like these two cards are very important. It's very much about the here and now for you. You need to listen to your instincts. They're tapped into a vibrational energy that reads this person. You feel what you feel now, but it is the truth. You have to be really careful here with the King of Swords because the King of Swords wants to make things black and white. You know, instincts are very shady. You know, there's so many shades of gray. They don't always make sense. You can't always rationalize those experiences. You need to listen to your own survival instincts. Time to get out. I don't trust this person at all. I hope this reading has made some sense to you, and if it has, feel free to leave some comments down below. It'd be great to get your feedback. Like and share this video where you can. Hit subscribe. Tap on the bell icon. That'll give you notifications for any future readings that I post. And if you're interested in the services that I offer as a psychic tarot reader, you can go to www.tonyfoxtarot.com. There's plenty of information about who it is that I am, what it is that I do, and how it is you can access my service as a psychic tarot reader. Thanks very much and take care. Hi everyone, welcome to card number 4. This is your reading and we're looking at whether you can trust this person today. So let's jump in and have a look and see what's going on. We'll start out here with the Hierophant and the Queen of Cups. I felt this was like an intimate relationship that you were ready to take on in a way that was next level. Like I felt this is somebody who you really loved. I feel like you have come to terms with your feelings in a way that there is a truce there for you. And you're driven by it. You want to be with them. You want to settle down with them. I feel like you've communicated that really clearly. I feel like you've put it out on the table in a way that says, I love you. And that you're the person I really want to be with. You know, the Hierophant is definitely a card of marriage and the sanctity of love. You know, I feel this is the motivation. It's like I want to tie the knot. Formally in a way that actually makes us a thing, you know, so that we can move forward into the future and just be done with the uncertainty of what's been going on in a way that allows us to map out our world and live a life that is about the two of us. I feel like you want to tie the knot in the formal sense, whether that's marriage or whether that's more de facto, you know, whatever it is, it's kind of legalizing the relationship in some ways. It's sort of like it's formalizing it. It's like we've got bills in both of our names. We're looking to tie everything together in a way that you know is about sharing a life, having a life together. I get this strong sense there's just absolutely no fear there for you. It's like this is where it's at, and this is the basis of why it is that I'm with you. You know, reflecting on that, the Wheel of Fortune, King of Pentacles, this other person is deflecting that energy. I don't feel like they're saying no to this idea of settling down. I kind of feel like they're saying at the same time, though, it's like, it's not today, it's a tomorrow thing for me. You know, I just don't feel that I'm secure within myself or within our circumstances to be able to make that commitment. It's a very money focused position at this point in time with this other person. King of Pentacles, really looking at finances and the security of a material world that supports them into the future in a way that mitigates any risk. I feel like what they're saying here is they want some sense of order to the practical underpinnings of being together in a way that gives plenty of padding, plenty of security, plenty of stuff to fall back on so that we can begin our lives at a later date in terms of getting married. I feel like this is a very strong-minded person, very strong-willed. They have a tendency to get fixed on what it is that they want in a way where they forget to listen to other people. Very stubborn. They can really dig their heels in a way where it's kind of all about them and their agenda, about how they see it. This person sees a lot of risk. Sees a lot of risk in the idea of actually settling down today and getting married, making a commitment. I keep on saying married, but it's whatever it is to you. It doesn't have to be marriage for everybody. It can be just formal commitment of some sort according to what it is that you want. But I feel like they're not listening to you. They're not listening to how is it you really feel, and that kind of comes across as a bit arrogant, maybe a bit ignorant. It's like, do you really get me? Do you really understand me? Are you hearing what it is I'm really saying? I'm coming from a truth, from a heartfelt place, and all I'm getting back from you is a lot of attitude about what is it you think, about how is it you see it, about what is it you actually want. And that doesn't make me feel like I'm being validated. And there is a lot of deflection there. There's a strong armor with this person. They've got a very strong ego. I get a lot of insecurity coming through here. This person needs a lot of security to feel better about themselves. I feel like they can be very superficial, that it can be all about the money. It can be all about the showy things. It can be all about the experiences that keep me up with the Joneses. It's about what makes me look good as opposed to how it is that it makes me feel. Image is a really important thing for this person. They're always going above and beyond to portray themselves in a particular way. And it gets away from where it is that you're really at, which is about just being really honest as to where things are at between the two of you. This person's very caught up in themselves, very caught up in their own world. Come back to the past over here to the Emperor and the Ten of Cups. I feel like for you, you're a very strong individual who really has a firm grasp on what family is all about. I feel like you're somebody who looks out for family members. You're very driven by the idea of family and making family happy. I feel like maybe you're even driven to have a family of your own. I get a person who looks out for other people. You have the welfare of family members in mind. You're the sort of person I feel that would visit a sick aunt or uncle, who would be there in practical terms to make sure that other family members who maybe are unwell are looked after, or that people have what they need to be happy. I kind of just feel like you're in the mix of it. You're a strong player in terms of bringing family together and making sure that everybody interrelates and has experiences that reinforces what it means to be a family. The Emperor is a really strong card for fatherhood, a paternal card. I wonder whether your father or somebody who was a strong mentor to you was very much about being an influence upon you in terms of when, like, asking when you're going to have family, when you're going to have kids of your own, when you're going to settle down. I also wondered whether you found this other person that you'd met to be somebody who felt was really suitable to be a father or a father-like energy. I feel like you've been very clear in terms of articulating what you want to settle down, to have a family of your own. Strength and the Three of Cups. I felt, looking back into the past with this other person, I kind of feel like, it's been a really good experience with them. I feel like it's been very positive. A lot of laughs, a lot of good times. I feel like, you've been very happy together. I feel like this person has just felt that the experience with you is one where they kind of just want to be in the moment. They're less about the wider experience of responsibility and actually stepping it up into something that is based on family values, though. I feel like this person wants a slightly smaller experience where it's just in the moment. It's a kind of feel-good factor of being being here today with you makes me feel really happy. Let's not put anything on it. At the same time, they're not saying no to you about anything that you're about or what it is that you want. I felt like this person was, seeing the potential in where things could go, most definitely. Sharing feelings with you, sharing experiences with you, validating the connection that you have. I don't feel like this person is shying away from growing into a relationship with you in any shape or form. But at the same time, I didn't feel that they had actually been sharing a desire to kind of step it up and share the same kind of drive that you're experiencing within yourself. Where's it all going? I feel over here with the Empress and the Ace of Pentacles, I felt for you, it would get to a point where you would feel that you needed to kind of share the experience that they were having in a way that validated them, perhaps. It's kind of like making preparations for parenthood and settling down in the future in a way that is more practically focused. I kind of feel like you're looking at financial opportunities or material opportunities or practical opportunities that pave the way into giving you, flourishing outcomes, prosperous outcomes, to support this idea of settling down. It's very constructively focused. I feel at the same time, it doesn't matter what avenue you take to forge through into the future. It's all roads lead to Rome for you. And for me, once again, it's driven by this idea of values around the family, and settling down. So I kind of feel like in some ways you're straddling both sides. You're trying to give this person something a little bit more tangible based on their way of thinking, but at the same time, you're driven by a kind of maternal or a paternal or a parental instinct that wants to kind of knit everything together and essentially live a life that will allow you to share with them at a deeper level of experience from an emotional perspective. The question is, can you trust this person? Look, I don't feel that you can trust this person. Up here to the Fool and the Five of Pentacles, I feel like this person is just going to gamble it all away. I feel like they get to a point where they don't want to be burdened by responsibility. They don't want to be weighted down by an experience that leaves them to feel that they have to share too much of themselves. I feel like this person will get to a point where they want to make a break and be on their own, and that they want to be footloose and free in many ways. I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like this person really will get to a stage where they want to find themselves. It's when the truth will come out about what it is that they're really all about. I feel like you've confronted them in so many different ways. Your honesty of feeling your own truth of purpose in terms of what you're looking for in life is something that I think that this person is trying to be a part of, but at the same time, they've realized that they actually need to go deeper within themselves to be able to give. This is somebody who is very insecure and finds it very difficult to come down to earth in a way where they can share. They're driven by themselves and what it is that they want. There's something slightly greedy about their character in a way that I don't feel that they could ever really be happy at this time to share in a balanced way, is what I'm trying to say. So I feel that it'll get to a point where this person does an about face. Everything that they're saying today that they're actually driving towards for the future with you in terms of wanting to make it more secure and to settle down, I feel that they'll spin on their heels and that they'll say that's not what it is that they want, and that they want to be alone and that they don't want to be burdened by responsibility. And at the end of the day, I feel that's going to be a really tough experience for you to digest because you really love this person. But this boils down to trust. I just do not feel that this person feels the same way about you as you do about them. And they're not able to step up and give you at an equal level so that this could actually be an experience that delivers what is it you really want. Look, I hope this reading has made some sense, and if it has, feel free to leave some comments down below. It'd be great to get your feedback. Like and share this video where you can. Hit subscribe, tap on the bell icon, that'll give you notifications for any future readings that I post. And if you're interested in the services that I offer as a psychic tarot reader, you can go to www.tonyfoxtarot.com. Plenty of information about who it is that I am, what it is that I do, and how it is you can access my service as a psychic tarot reader. Thanks very much and take care.